Hello everyone and welcome to Authentic Now Yoga, the online yoga studio for anybody and everybody. My name is Jody Pignole and today we're going to do a full class centered around our hips. Our hips hold a lot. They hold a lot of our weight. They hold us in position. They hold emotions. They hold tension. And so I want to have a practice where we're just giving them some love, giving them some space to open up and release whatever is ready to be released. And just a word of caution that if emotions are held in here and we free those up, you might notice those later. And I also want to encourage you to make sure that you, after your practice, you drink water and just flush out anything that maybe got loosened up there as well. So the reason why I think this is valuable and important is because we can't move freely, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, the way we want to in the world when this is all bound up. So anytime that we can give it some attention and try and create more space in that area of our beings and bodies, it's totally valuable. So that's what we're going to do today. And we're going to start with our easy seated pose. I really want to encourage you to use a modification if you need that for your body. If your knees are coming up, if this is tight right here as you sit in your easy seated pose, find another variation. We have a video that has a lot of different possibilities on there. So go ahead and pause, sit up higher, sit on a block, a bolster, a blanket or two, whatever's going to work to let this let go. We're starting off right. And once you've found that position that's going to work for you and your body, we are going to begin that process of bringing ourselves more present with our bodies, more present with the moment, more present with what it's like to be us right now. And I will be quiet for a little while you just spend that time with yourself. There's really not anything you need to think. You might notice things, but just let the thoughts about anything other than this moment just roll on. See you on the other side. With these next few breath cycles, just imagine that you're sending that breath all the way down into your pelvis and allowing that to loosen up any other places of holding that you might be noticing. Releasing. Yeah. And then just give yourself a few little pelvic floor squeezes and release, just to remind yourself of that part of your body and what it feels like to not be holding tension. Nice, and open your eyes whenever you're ready. So we'll do a little bit of warming up, and we'll just start with this simple default easy seated pose position with the legs. And we're going to find our sit bones plugged into the blanket or the mat, reaching up nice and tall with the crown of the head, lengthening the spine. And then just walk your hands forward. So any amount, whatever you have, keep the sit bones down, keep the spine long. And just come forward. Open up the lower back, the butt muscles. And keep it active. Keep it wiggling, curious. Yeah, you can explore Maybe you can walk your hands side to side. See what you notice. See where the tight spots are. Perfect. Bring yourself back. Walk your hands back up. Nice. And then let's take the right hand off the right hip. Grow tall with the spine. Reach that left arm up and come into a side bend. Keeping that left hip reaching towards the mat. Reaching towards the ground. Yes. And then you can keep this wiggly as well. Maybe you rotate it. Maybe you find some other ways to be in your side bend. Excellent. Bring yourself up. Take the hands behind, underneath the shoulders. Roll those shoulder blades down and back. And then open up the front body. So lifting from that pubic bone all the way up the front. Yeah. Grounding the sit bones. Excellent. Bring it back up. Take your left hand off the left hip. Reach up with the right arm. Side bend. And you could spend a little time here in your side bend. Yeah, reach that right hip away. Nice. Bring it back up. And then we're going to switch the legs. So whatever leg you had on top, see if you can recreate that with the opposite leg on top. It's going to be different, probably. All right, plug in, grow, forward fold again. Keep the sit bones down. Keep the spine long. Wiggle, wiggle. Walk side to side if you want with your hands. Yes. We're just creating as much space and opening in this whole pelvic area, hips, quads, glutes, hamstrings. Excellent. All right, bring yourselves back up. We'll take the left hand off the left hip, reach up with the right arm, side bend. Bring it back up, hands behind, grow that spine, little back bend. What do you notice? Where can you create more space? Yes. Bring yourselves back up. Right hand off, right hip, left arm comes up, side bend to the right. Alrighty, bring yourselves back up. We're going to take our legs out front, about mat width apart. And we're going to imagine, or we're going to row an imaginary boat. So bringing your hands forward, lengthening all of this, bringing your hands back, engaging all of this. Back and forth. Exhale as you come forward, inhale as you come back. You can tell I was actually probably never rowed a boat in my life. All right, last round. Nice. And then just bounce your legs out a little bit. Okay, let's come into a child's pose. So this is just a fantastic pose any day of the week, but in particular on hip day, it's going to be a great hip opener. Loosen up that lower back. Use modifications again if you need that. This is the time to do it. And then we'll just spend a few breath cycles here, reconnecting with the breath, reconnecting with the body. Setting an intention, if that's something you do, this is a nice time to do that. Just keep your attention in your hips. Can anything loosen here? Let go. All right, we're gonna lift ourselves up, curl the toes under. We're gonna come into a squat pose. So again, modifications are so good. If you need to do something different than what I'm doing, this doesn't work for your authentic body. I'm just working my way in to what ultimately will be my squat pose today. I'm gonna wiggle that out a little. So just play around here. Nice. And then we're gonna come into a forward fold. So we'll just lift the hips, bring the feet parallel, and then work into a forward fold. Bend the knees if you need to. Yeah. Working our way in. Setting our hips free. Nice. And then with the knees slightly bent, we're just going to tuck the tailbone under. We're going to roll up, stacking one vertebra on top of the other. Bringing the head up last. Nice. Okay, let's stand with our feet about mat width apart. We'll take our hands to our hips. So we're just going to create a little hula hoop motion. You know why. And really see if you can create a round shape. Yeah, go slow, really track. You're making a circle. Yes, side, front, side, back. Doesn't matter which direction, we're going to switch directions. What do you notice? Yeah, are there some glitches? Found one. Lovely. All right, finish your round and then we'll just switch directions. Yeah, we're getting all of that ball and socket joint on each side, moving, hydrated. Nice. All right, finish up your circle. Lovely. And then bring your feet back underneath you and just pick one leg and shake it out. So as I talked about, we hold a lot of tension and it's nice to just imagine we're flicking that all out our legs. So just let it be free and loose. Yeah. Good. Switch sides. Feels so good. Great. All right, let's do one round of sun salutations. That's going to really get this all opened up. Okay, find yourself at the front of your mat. Feet underneath your hips. Nice tall spine. Hands in prayer pose at your heart. Nice full breath cycle here. All right, reach up with the arms. We're going to take this a little bit slow so you can feel the impact on the pelvis. So reach up, little back bend here. Get all that length from the bottoms of the feet to the fingertips. Yes, forward fold. Find a forward fold. Bend your knees if you need to so this can soften. Good. Step back with the right leg. Find a lunge here. So what's opening up is the front of this leg and the back of this leg. Just spend a few breath cycles here. If you need to drop the knee, that's okay. Yes. Plant those hands, step the right or the left leg back to meet the right for down dog. Bend the knees if you need to. And then we'll come forward on the knees, the chest and the chin, little arch in the back. Drop that all down to the belly. Come up into a cobra, whatever you've got. Lovely. Back down, curl the toes under, lift the hips. Find your down dog. Let's step forward with the right leg. Find a lunge on this side. Might feel different. Yes. Step forward with the left leg. Forward fold. Again, bend the knees if that's something that you need to do. And then we'll extend, reach all the way up. Little back bend. Back to the beginning. Full breath cycle. Notice if you're holding a lot of tension here. Try and let that be free. We've got alignment, but we don't really need to be gripping. Yes. And then reach your arms up overhead. Little back bend here. Open that front of the pelvis. Yes. Forward fold. Open the back of the pelvis. This time we'll step back with the left leg. Find a lunge. Step back with the right. Find a down dog. Good. Knees, chest, chin. Keep those elbows in towards the ribs. Fingers spread wide. Down onto your belly, up into your cobra. Back down. Curl the toes under. Lift those hips. Down dog. Step forward with the left leg. Find your lunge on this side. Really feel what's opening, what's available. Good. Step forward with the right leg. Forward fold. Really ground the legs. Extend the spine as you bring yourself all the way back up. Reach overhead and back to the beginning. Nice. All right, we're just going to come back down into a forward fold. We're going to step back with that right leg again. Finding a lunge. Just really finding your lunge here again. See, can this whole area, the groin, sink down any more towards the mat? Is there any more opening? We're not forcing things, just being curious. Nice. All right, let's take the hands up to the knees. You can stay here. If that feels more stable, you can take the hands to the hips. Nice. Let's just clasp the hands behind the back. Strengthen up that back leg. Strengthen up that front leg. Yes. So in addition to loosening and freeing our hips, we need to give them strength and support as well. All right, release the hands, come forward, step the left foot or the right foot forward. Let's come up halfway. Stick those sit bones back behind you. Lengthen the spine and release to forward fold. We'll step back with the left leg. First, figuring out, is there any more opening to be had? Nice. And then we'll take the hands to the knees. Find your balance. I'm finding my balance. Hands to the hips. You can stay at any one of these places. Clasp the hands behind the back. Strengthen the legs. Good. Breathe. Release the hands. Come forward. Step forward. Hands to the hips. Extend the spine. Come all the way up. All right, we're gonna do one more round of lunging. Shift that up a little bit. So let's just reach our arms up again overhead. Lengthen. Really pay particular attention to the front of the pelvis. Can you lengthen that anymore? Release the lower belly. Yes, forward fold. You can slump it down if you want. Bend the knees, make it deep. And then let's step back with the right leg again. This time we're going to drop that right knee to the mat and have a different shaped lunge, impacting different parts of our hips. Nice. Then we're just going to shift the hips back, open up the front of that left leg. Open up the back of that left leg. And then just shift yourself forward and back a few times. See what will loosen up. Let's meet up with our hips back and the front leg extended. Flex the heel if that works for your body. Just a few breaths here. Square up the hips. Good. Nice. All right, let's come forward. Curl the back toes under, step forward. Just take a deep breath or two in your forward fold. And we'll step back with the left leg. The left knee comes to the mat. Work your lunge. Yeah, again, not forcing anything, no pain, just maybe a little complaining, but that's all. Being easy with this sensitive part of our body. All right, let's shift the hips back. Feel that position and then back and forth a few times, giving it a chance to get used to that idea. Nice. All right, let's meet back up with the hips back. Opening that front leg, squaring up the hips here, bending forward in any way that you can. Nice, and let's come forward on that knee and step forward with the left leg. Forward fold. Let's roll this one up again. Really tuck that tailbone under. Feel that engagement, the whole core as you slowly roll up all the way. All right, let's do a little standing balancing before we come down onto the mat. So again, this is so great for strengthening the whole pelvic region. Can't have it all floppy. That won't do. All right, so find your feet underneath your hips. Feet are parallel. Good. Nice neutral pelvis. So this is engaged, but it's not gripping. It's not clenching. When we are in fight or flight, clenching this is probably the first thing that happens because we're like, I might need to run, whatever. So just notice the difference between engagement and clenching. Good. All right, let's shift our weight over to the right leg. I'm mirroring you now. Lift up that left knee. Good. Nice tall, so just opening up the back, hugging that knee up towards the chest, not the chest towards the knee. Keeping that strong vertical. Just breathe. Beautiful. All right, release the knee. Let's bring that foot back down to the mat. Find your alignment, and then we'll shift our weight over to the left leg. Bring that right knee up, any amount, whatever's working for you in your body right now. closer to the chest if you can, keeping that nice tall spine. Excellent. All right, bring that back out. Remind yourself we're going to shift over to the right leg again. Bring that left knee up. And just bring it out to the side. So the right hand can be on the hip. Can be reaching out to the side. Can be reaching up. Yeah. There's so much good stuff happening in here as we balance on one leg. All right, bring the knee back in. Whoop. And release. Okay, last one. Standing on our left leg, nice and tall, bringing up that right knee. Bringing the knee out to the side, hand to the hip, left hand reaching out, left hand reaching up. Yes, finding your breath. Good. All right, and come on out as mindfully as you went in. Okay, let's bring ourselves back down into a child's pose. If you want to take a different shape with this, you can widen your knees. You can bring your arms by your sides. Just find whatever your body feels like doing in this moment. Yeah, how do your hips feel now? What about dropping your hips over to one side? And then the other. If your knees are wide, you'll have to bring them back together. Let's do one more each side. All right, reach those arms out. Spread the fingers wide. Let's come up to all fours. Let's curl the toes under and come into a down dog. So we're going to step the left or the right foot a little towards the left. Reach that left leg up in the air for three-legged dog. Then bring the knee forward to the outside of the right elbow. Bring it back up. Bring the knee to the outside of the left elbow and extend that leg. Now we're going to lower down onto that hip. Tricky, huh? So you can stay up here with this right leg engaged and extended. You can come down into a little push-up. Breathing, what do you notice? There's stuff happening, I'm sure. All right, bring yourselves back up. Swing that leg back into your three-legged dog and back down to regular dog. Rest if you need to rest, modify if you need to modify. I'm actually gonna turn around so I have room to take my other leg out to the side. So find the down dog again. We'll step the left leg towards the right, take the right leg in the air. Three-legged dog. Bring that knee forward to the outside of the right elbow and back. Bring that knee forward to the outside of the left elbow. Extend the leg. Drop the hip. Stay here. We'll come down and do a push-up. Breathe. Feel this leg extending. Feel this other leg extending. Yes. Lift your chest. If you lowered it, swing your leg back up into your three-legged dog. And let's come forward onto the belly and roll onto your right side. So as you're on your side, feet, hips, shoulders, all in the same line. Nice. And if you need to bend that lower leg for balance, go ahead and do that. We're just going to hug this left knee into the shoulder. Yeah, you see where we're going with this? Feel that opening. And extend that leg up towards the ceiling. You can grab the toe if you've got that in your flexibility. Otherwise, just grab the back of the leg. And just working on whatever openings are available. This leg is just moving towards my shoulder. I notice that I'm rolling back, so really I want to try and stack my hips. Yeah. My head is resting in my hand, but if you need to rest it on your arm, that's fine too. All right, hug that knee in one more time. And then we're going to bring that knee around, grab that foot in the back. Yeah, and just a little hip opener in the front, strengthening the quadriceps muscles, those thigh muscles, opening that hip flexor that can get very, very tight when there's a lot of tension. Can that open anymore? All right, gently release the foot. And then we'll come on to the other side. Feet, hips, shoulders, all in alignment. Bend that bottom knee if you need to. We're going to hug the knee into the shoulder. Stacking the hips. Go ahead. Few breaths here as you explore the limits of your flexibility here. All right, let's extend that leg. Again, use that big toe if that's working for you. You can use a strap. I didn't mention that on the other side. Maybe you figured that out. Or just extend the leg. Yeah, probably need to remind yourself to stack the hips. I did. Yeah, breathe. Coax, encourage, openings. Excellent. All right, release that leg. Bend the knee. Oh yeah, let's give it one more squeeze up there. And then we'll reach around, grab that foot behind. Opening up the front. My head wants to come down on this side. Yeah. Keeping it gentle, but keeping it active. Excellent. All right, gently release. Let's come on to the belly. We'll just rest the forehead on the hands for a few breath cycles while we shake out the hips and really, really just encourage them to loosen up. If you need to squeeze and release, go ahead and squeeze and release. Just to remind your butt muscles how to let go. And then bend the knees. And we'll just sweep those back and forth. Just tune into that meeting place of the femur, the thigh bone, right into that pelvic girdle. Can it be any looser? Excellent. All right, let's bring the left elbow underneath the shoulder. Forearm is parallel with the edge of the mat there. We're going to bend the right knee. Reach around. Make a clasp with that hand and that foot. If you can't, just reach them towards each other. Keep this right hip in contact with the mat. Yeah, and just work on opening any amount. Shouldn't feel too bad since we basically just did this. All right, gently release that foot back to the mat. Take the right elbow underneath the shoulder. Bend the left knee, reach around. Make a clasp or head in that direction. Don't let this shoulder collapse. Keep yourself nice and tall. Good. Keep that left pelvis down. We're opening again. Excellent. Gently release. We're going to lower down onto our bellies. Bend both knees. Reach around. Make a clasp if you can. If not, just head in that direction. So reaching those arms is going to take the shoulders away from the ears. You can open up the collarbones, bring the shoulder blades towards each other. You can bend those ankles, make a little clasp. And maybe you stay here, or maybe if you want to lift the legs and the chest off the mat. Breathing. And lower back down. Release, just rest on one cheek. Feel everything be heavy down into your mat. All right, let's set ourselves up to do that one more time. Bend the knees, reach back. Take hold of the feet or the ankles. Roll those shoulder blades down and back towards each other. Stay here or lift. One more breath. See if you can lift a little more if you're lifted. Good. And release. Rest on the other cheek. All right, arms in cactus pose. Take your right knee out to the side. Just bring it forward and out. Try and keep that hip down. Just let that soften for a breath cycle or two. Let's take the elbows underneath the shoulders. Curl the left toes under. Lift the hips. Swing that right knee over to the left. Left leg is still engaged. You can stay here. You can come down onto your chest, arms in cactus. Again, resting on the right cheek, or a little more twist, you can rest on the left cheek. And breathe wherever you are. Nice. Bring yourself back up. Elbows under the chest, under the shoulders again. Lift the hips. Bring that leg back to meet the other. Lower back down. This time we're going to rest on our right cheek. Bring the left knee forward and out. See if you can let gravity pull that left hip down. And lift the chest, take the elbows under the shoulders, curl the right toes under, lift the hips, send that knee over to the over to the right. Left knee over to the right. Good. Right leg is extended, engaged. Stay here if that works for you. Otherwise, come down onto your chest. Rest on your left cheek or your right. Nice, everybody. Lift your chest, elbows under. Engage that right leg. Lift the hips. Lower back down. Hands under shoulders. We're going to push back into a child's pose. Really round that lower back. Yeah. Take some deep, deep breaths into there. Imagine it's inflating and softening. All right, let's come over onto our backs. And just reach yourself long. And then let's bend the knees, bring the feet mat width apart. And we'll just windshield wiper the knees back and forth. Finding some looseness in another way. And then you can just meet up on one side. Take the bottom ankle on top of the knee, if that works. A few breaths here. And release, bring the knees back up. Shift them over to the other side. Bottom ankle on top of the knee. All right, release that. Both knees back up. Bring the knees or the feet hip width apart. We'll take the left ankle over the right knee. Reach through, make a clasp behind the thigh or in front of the shin. Yeah, and we'll just work this whole situation, mostly that shin, towards the chest. No pain, no screaming, just a little, a little, I don't know if I like that. All right, release that back down to the mat. Switch sides. Take the clasp behind the thigh or in front of the shin. Move that shin towards your chest. Just determined for us to get every possible direction. I'm sure there are things I've missed, but we'll save that for another day. All right, gently release that back down to the mat. Extend your right leg. Bring that left knee up. Take the knee out a little bit. We'll take our hand and bring that foot forward. So it's a reclined pigeon pose. So just essentially like I was just doing, bringing that shin towards the chest. Yeah, the knees coming out to the side as much as possible. The shin is moving its way towards the chest. You can extend that right leg if you want, point the toe as it would be if you were in a pigeon pose. Excellent. All right, gently release, give it a little squeeze, and then send it down to a long leg. Hug in the right knee. Bring it out to the side. Take hold of that foot and bring the shin towards the chest. Yeah. You can point the left toes. You can always just be finding a little bit of continued movement. Nothing ever gets stuck or static. Lovely. All right, bring it back. Hug both knees in again. Hug them wide. You can wiggle those around. How are things feeling? If you want to reach around to the outside edges of the feet, come into a happy baby pose. If you can't reach your feet, you can just hold behind the knees. And you can rock that. Give your back a little soothing. Bring the bottoms of the feet together over the chest, or over the belly, as the case may be. Imagine you're forward folding your cobbler's pose. And then let's take those feet down to the mat, still together. So they can be close to the groin, they can be further away, whatever's going to work for your body. Just let those knees release down to the mat. You can take your hands, heels of your hands into the tops of your femurs. Push away. And then reach your arms up overhead. Grab opposite elbows. And just soften here for a few breath cycles. Release your arms, reach around, bring those knees back up. And then let's take ourselves through any last shapes, postures, movements that your body might be calling for. Maybe 30 seconds, a minute. Just finding any shape that your body is asking for, didn't get to have. And then whenever you're ready, you can start making your way into your final meditation position, whether that's full corpse pose or some variation. Just find that one that's going to help you release. If this is tight to have your legs extended, you could put something behind your knees that helps the hips loosen. Another thing you can do to loosen the hips is just windshield wiper the feet back and forth, since we're all about that. And then if you need a blanket to be warm, go ahead and do that. And then just begin your process of doing nothing, letting go. Relaxing. Seeing if you can witness the release of the muscles. Sinking into gravity. Gives your mind something to focus on when it might want to drift. And I'll just be quiet for a little while. Just a few minutes. these next few breath cycles, just allow that breath to fill your pelvis again. Imagine it's just nourishing it, giving it a lot of love for all that it does for you, and helping release and let go. And whenever you're ready, you can start to introduce the movement, keeping it gentle, finding your way to your side. I like to just have one more breath of letting go on my side. And then finding my seated position. If you're comfortable keeping your eyes closed here, go ahead and do that. Just finding your connection with your body, with what it's like to be you right now, with your pelvis. Is there anything that you want to celebrate or take with you into your day? Just notice that. And then whenever you are ready, actually let's just take one more full breath into that whole being. There we go. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Namaste. Your hips don't lie. I'm so glad that you came and practiced with me today. My hips feel great. I hope that yours do too. Taking you into the rest of your day with some grace and some ease and some strength. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, I would love that if you would do that. Otherwise, I wish you a very, very wonderful day.